In the quest to play 1001 video games, we have journeyed through the ages, sampling the best, the most brilliant games of all consoles that have come before. And now they all pale in comparison as we turn to the ultimate game. Uno? Are we seriously on a load screen? I thought this was just like press a button to continue. We had a load screen on Uno on the PS4. Game developers, optimize your games. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we're playing Uno for some reason. Yes, Uno, the card game you find in the bargain bins at Walmart. That you play with your kid cousins. Or maybe you do have a lot of fond memories of this, and I'm just slowly losing your fandom by ripping into Uno. But Uno, I don't know, I like card games. I was a big fan of Asshole, other people call it President. In my undergrad days, even today I still like the game. I played a lot of Crazy Eights growing up and stuff like that. I like card games, I enjoy them. I do think the idea of putting card games online and being able to play them multiplayer is pretty cool. But at the same time, I've tried Uno before. I find it a more random version of Crazy Eights, but we'll get into that here today. I don't know, maybe you love Uno, maybe not, but we're playing Uno. Now, before we hop into this, I should say Uno came out on a ton of systems. The Xbox 360, I think, was one of the systems that catapulted it. It came out on the Xbox Live Arcade and it catapulted it to great success. It came out later on like WiiWare, DSiWare, PSP. You can get it on iPhones and Android. You can get it on anything. You can get a physical version if you so want. I happen to have it on PS4. I either bought it on deep discount or I was given it for free, or I don't know why I have this on PS4, but this is what I have, so... in an uncharacteristic move, we're playing a PS4 game in our quest to play 1001 games. Let's play before we die. Anyway, let's play Uno. We could play locally with up to 4 players. If we had mobile devices, we're just going to use a controller and play by our lonesome. 1 player may play against all locally, and up to 2 players can play as a team. Sure, I'm playing with the controller, and I'm playing offline. I don't believe in socialization or meeting strangers. These things are scary to me. Okay, what is this? Ubisoft Club. Unlock cool rewards. How about we just play Uno? The thing I came here to do? Oh, yeah, let's... Downloadable content for Uno? What could there possibly be? I'm sorry. This would be like if you took, like, Crazy Eights and tried to, like, make it into a video game. It's been gamified in weird ways. Like, what kind of DLC do you need for Crazy Eights? It's a card game. It's pretty self-contained. I don't know. Anyway, this is a game that the developers thought was so important, needed to be in 1001 Games to Play Before You Die book, or the writers, I should say. Although, again, I don't dismiss the idea of taking a card game like Uno, putting it online in multiplayer, especially when that first happened. That would be pretty monumental, and it is cool, and it should exist. I'm not sort of slamming the total idea behind this, but oh, look. We can play with rabbits. Well, that seems to be unlocked, so maybe we will actually check that out. A winter-themed game? Or the standard... Let's start with the standard Uno deck. We don't want to go too crazy here. Alright. So, if you've never played Uno before, I'll explain it as we go. Let me just see these rules. So we definitely do want to stack. Players swap hands. Player pass 0. Okay, here are like the house rules. Forced play. If you draw a card and it's playable, it's automatically played. No bluffing. Draw to match. Okay, that's all fine. I'd like stacking. We'll just do a 1-round limit. Start the game. After explosive results is played, the next player to draw cards for any reason must draw 3 additional cards. So once this gets going... Are we seriously on a load screen? I thought this was just like press a button to continue. We had a load screen on Uno. On the PS4. Game developers, optimize your games. Jesus. What was loading? Like, honestly, what was loading that load screen? Seriously. Okay, the way Uno works is everyone takes a turn playing a card. Crazy things are happening right now, but basically you have to play a card that is the right color. Oh god. I'm gonna decline to challenge him. I have to pick up 4 cards. Okay, so basically when it's your turn, and my turn just got skipped there for some reason. Here we go. Oh, no, now it got reversed. The computer is really boning me on this one. They do not want me playing. All right, so notice that the player at the top first played a blue 9, then the next player played a green 9. So you can play any card that matches the card that was played before. So like if I had a 9, I could play it. Or I have to play a green card, and that's my only green card. There's a couple exceptions, like there's wild cards that let you change the color to whatever you want, and then there's like reversal cards, which I think I have one. There, I have a yellow reversal card. I also have a yellow skip a player's turn card. Now this is basically Crazy 8s. So with Crazy 8s, you play with a normal deck of cards, and rather than having 4 colors, you have 4 suits. The reversal card, I think, is 4. The skip a turn is a jack. The pickup 2 is a 2, and there's also a pickup 5 card, which is Queen of Spades. And the wild is 8s. So one thing I never quite understood about Uno is like, if you own a deck of cards, you own Uno, because you could just play Crazy 8s. Like, I don't understand the big difference between this and Crazy 8s. Anyway, let me play my turn here. The only difference is that Crazy 8s, I don't know if this is a house rule or what. Okay, it was just changed to red from a wild there. I have to play this now. But let me just show you. So the house rule with Crazy 8s that we had, and I don't know if this is standard or house, but if you had a red 6, let's say, and the suit was, the color was red, and you also had a yellow 6, you could drop the red 6 and yellow 6 at the same time on your turn, so you could build up sets, and sets are really powerful to like get you out of jams when you got locked up. As we will see as this hand goes on, what's going to happen, it may look like the guy on the left is about to win, but he's definitely not. What's basically going to happen, see, I have 2 zeros. If this was Crazy 8s rules, I could drop them both and drop 2 cards. So there was some advantage to having a lot of cards in your hand in Crazy 8s. But what's going to happen is these people with very few cards, it looks like they're about to win, but unless it comes around and it happens to be on the suit that they need to win, I just made that guy pick up 2. Then they can't play, they have to pick up a card, skip their turn, and then we just endlessly get locked on this thing where everyone has 1 card, and just whoever happens to be lucky enough to, we have to draw a card here because we don't have a 6 or a red. Whoever happens to be lucky enough to have the right suit come around when they're on their last card wins. So like, yeah, neither of those guys won, they had 1 card left. So I don't know, I find that this has like way less strategy. What the? All players' hands will be shuffled by the dragon. Yeah, go for it. If you have a big hand, that's advantageous. Why not? So I find this has way less strategy than, I don't want to, oh my god, there's an ad in my game. Way less strategy than Crazy 8s. Like if this was Crazy 8s territory, we're on green. Here's the strategy. You don't want to play the green 5 because the green 5 and the blue 5 should stay together. Because if those happen to be your last 2 cards, then you have 2 colors that you could get out on. If you have a 3 of a kind, you really want to hold that to the end so that when you have 3 cards left, no matter almost, 3 of the 4 suits that come around, you could slam down your 3 cards and you could be out and you could win. So you always want to drop your singles before your sets in Crazy 8s, and, that just is not a thing here, so. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna try and play, but I mean, like, I feel like winning at Uno is just down to total randomness, Like, I happen to be able to have another reversal. Now I have my last card. If it comes around and it's on green, I win. If it's not, I'm totally helpless. Like, there's no strategy here. There's no strategy to winning at Uno. Like, okay, I just have to draw a card. What could I do there, But with, like, Crazy 8s, you can plan it out. I don't know. I played a lot of Asshole when I was in undergrad. Again, people call it President, sometimes. It's the game where, it's pretty much like this. You have to play the right color, or you have to play the right numbers, and you just all go around dropping cards. Actually, no, it isn't. You don't have to play the right number. You have to play a higher number than the number that came before. So an asshole, if somebody plays like a 2, you have to play a 3 or higher. Someone plays a 7, you have to play an 8 or higher. If somebody plays 2 7s, then you have to play 2 8s or higher. There's also wild cards and stuff like that come around occasionally. So here's the only strategy in this. I think you can hold this wild card to be your last card, so I'm really going to hold it to be my last card. Because then at least if I get down to 1 card, then I win. Like, you might think, oh, here, I should play this and change it to red. There's no way it's going to stay red until it gets to me, so instead I'm just going to draw a card. And I'll play it right away. I want to dump the 2 first. And when you get down to 1 card, you have to call it Uno. I'm just going to draw a card because I don't believe these guys are going to win. Yeah, it's not going to win. You're going to win? Oh, you won! Good! Random chance favored you. Good on you, Dusty. I don't know. There's no joy in winning in Uno, I find. I just find it's like totally random. And that match ended quickly. We'll play a few matches here and we'll see. We'll see how long it takes to last. We'll do another classic Uno. We will do that Rabbids one at some point. But let's do a couple standard rounds here. Okay, no loadings time this time, thank God. Alright. And off we go in the world of Uno. Asshole's a really fun game. The thing that sucks about it, the thing that's both awesome and that sucks about it is after you play a round, the player who is number 1, who went out first, got rid of all their cards first, becomes the president, and the person who comes out last is the asshole. And what ends up happening in the game is for the next round, after everyone's dealt their cards, the asshole has to give their 2 best cards to the president, and the president can just give 2 cards that are inconvenient for them to the asshole. And so what ends up happening is losses become institutionalized. You know, kind of like in society, it's like if you start life off, you know, at a disadvantage, it can really like just hold you back your entire life, which really sucks. It's not a fair way the world works, but sort of how the card game works. And I really want to drop both of these at the same time, but I can't. Now I'm trapped on an island of yellow. If it's not yellow or a 9, I'm just screwed. Yellow, yellow. Oh my God. Maybe there's some strategy here. Let's send it back his way, because I presume he has a yellow. That's why he picked it. Oh, I think you have to call Uno when you get down to 1 card, and I didn't do that. I had to pick up 2. That's a rule in Crazy 8s as well. Crazy 8s is literally Uno. I never played Uno as a kid, and when I played this game, after I downloaded it, I was like, this is literally just Crazy 8s. Which again begs the question, why would you buy an Uno deck when literally any deck of cards lets you play this game? I don't understand. I don't understand Uno, guys. But anyway, yeah, Asshole's a really fun game. If you do become Asshole, it cannot download Uno version 1.09. Oh, well, who cares? I didn't even know it was downloading the update, frankly. If you get stuck as Asshole in the Asshole game, then you definitely can be stuck there for a long time. It's really hard to climb out. The only advantage you have as the Asshole is you get to go first. Ooh, what is this? Everyone except the player with the lowest hand count randomly discards until everyone's hand is equal. Oh. Alright, let's all go down to 1. Now total random chance, boys. Oh my God, and we got left with a wild. Just Dance 2017 is now available. Experience the fun of Just Dance in your Uno matches. F you. You gonna win? Yeah, you won. I tried. I did the best I could. I mean, I got down to 1 card. Alright. Statistically speaking, we should win 1 in 4 matches if it's totally random, and if we suck, then we'll win less than that. If we're good, we'll win more than that, but I'm not taking bets on that anytime soon. So yeah, Asshole was a game we played in undergrad. So me and my buddies played. Get around, we'd hang out, have some drinks, play some Asshole. Somebody would get stuck as Asshole and complain the whole time. Half the time it was me. It was great. It was great. Alright. Yellow. Here we go. There was another game I played as a kid, and to this day I can't even remember the name of it. I think it was called Bloody Knuckles. Bloody Knuckles is a card game. The whole premise was, it was kind of like Crazy 8s and Asshole, but then, pick up 2, bitch. But then after the person who lost, you were supposed to like take the deck of cards and wrap them on the knuckles. And so the idea was bloody knuckles. You would get bloody knuckles if you played the game enough. But my brother and I played that game a lot in the summers because, you know, it'd be like summer, we have nothing to do, so we'd play card games together sometimes. And we never hit each other on the knuckles because we thought that part was stupid. We just literally enjoyed the game. So we just played it. We played bloody knuckles without the like trademark thing that you're supposed to do in it, which is assault the other players. All right. Challenge. I don't know what that did. Pick up 6. Oh, I guess if he had no greens. Like if he was bluffing, then, you know. Good, our turn got skipped. The other guy's turn got skipped. Amazing. Alright, pick up 2. Why not? Give it to me. Oh, and I get to skip my turn even. There is a way to stack it. If someone puts like pick up 2 and then you also put pick up 2, then I think the next person picks up 4. And then if the next person puts pick up 2, the next person picks up 6, or you put 2 pick up 2s, they pick up 8. In Crazy 8s, it would get wild. It would get like to a point where like all the 2s have been played and then somebody plays the Queen of Spades on top of that. So then it's like pick up, what is that? 8, 13. And then you'd have to reshuffle the deck. And then somebody else would get a pick up 2, and they'd be like, pick up 25! And before you know it, it's like you're eating the whole deck. And everyone just has massive hands. But that's where being able to drop sets actually sped the game up, because it's like once everyone has massive hands, you think the game goes really slow. But people are dropping like 3, 4 cards at a time, because you drop like 3 8s, 3 7s, 3 9s. As long as you have one that matches the suit of the card you're supposed to play on. So if I had a blue 9 and a green 9 and a red 9, I could drop them all. I just have to put the blue 9 on the bottom. And you also strategically get to pick what color's on top, so you get to pick what the end suit is. So, I don't know. Way more strategy in Crazy 8s, I argue. Oh, good, we lost again. The other thing about Crazy 8s is there's another way to play it called Crazy 8 Countdown, which is actually kind of fun. And so you start by dealing everyone 8 cards, and they play Crazy 8s. And then the first person to go out, they actually, after they go out, they draw 7 cards, and now 7 is their wild. 8 is no longer wild for them, it's 7. And they keep playing with everybody. And then when you go out on 7, then it's 6, and 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. And then when you go out on 1, then you actually win. So it's a way of playing Crazy 8s where, you know, sometimes the downside about Crazy 8s is just as you're getting into the game, somebody might go out, and then it's like, oh man, they won. And there's no way to catch up, like the game's over, just instantly ends, like Uno is ending here. But with Crazy 8's Countdown, it's like the first person to go out, it's like they're just starting to pull ahead, and it's like you can catch up and you can lap people and like, you know, get ahead of them and stuff like that. So usually when we play Crazy 8s, we play Crazy 8 Countdown these days, although it's like years since I've played cards, really. But you know, if somebody asked me to play Crazy 8's Countdown, I 100% would. I also went through a phase where I had the asshole card game. I have the mobile version on my phone. I think I paid for it years and years ago. But I went through a phase where I was playing it like addictively on my phone, like just over and over, and you know, practicing and having fun with it and stuff. And like, I think it was after the glory days where my friends and I didn't play it as much. You do have a red. Okay, well, we know he has a red 3 now, so now all we have to do to stop him from winning is not let it be on red by the time it's his turn. And we lost. You idiots! You idiots! AI pudding is crushing us, man. Crushing us. Alright, it's time to try the rabbits game. Rabbids. Whatever. I don't even know what this is gonna be. Let's do it! I suppose we could raise the score limit so that we could play multiple rounds, but honestly, I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy. You guys can tell my heart isn't in this Uno game here. I picked up that 1001 book to play video games, not these gosh dang card games. Again, I think the idea of being able to play these games online is cool. Like, again, I really got into the mobile version of Asshole, and I think that was just local. Like, you just played against AI. I don't think there was a way to play against people online. But if there was, I definitely would have suggested to my friends that we play it online. Because we had a lot of fun playing that back in the day. I guess the other game that we played a lot was we got into, you know, Texas Hold'em poker, as everybody did back in the early 2000s because the World Poker Tour was on TV so often. But yeah, we got into poker. Played a lot of that. We usually played for like, I think we'd usually throw in like $5, sometimes 10, sometimes 20. Those were the big days. But we just threw in a little bit of money just so that it was a little interesting. Sometimes we just played for nothing, just for funsies. And I feel like that is the card game I've played most recently. When the pandemic started way back, I reconnected with some buddies, and we actually did get like a poker game going on online, and we like had a few Zoom nights of poker, which is pretty fun. But you know, people, I don't know, got busy and back to normal and stuff. We haven't done that in a while, but I would do that again if we could get it going. But I think Asshole's really my game. Asshole and Crazy 8, those are my two favorite games. I know Bridge is another big one. Everyone loves Bridge, or Euchre. Those are games that are just sort of outside of my wheelhouse, outside of my time. So 4-7 or green. Oh shoot, I didn't say Uno. Oh well, nobody caught me. Apparently. And we lost. I mean, we got pretty close there. That's how it goes. But blah is the bad guy in that one. Okay, so playing with the rabbits, I feel like just adds extra graphics. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what there is to say. I think I'm just salty I'm not playing Crazy 8s. Again, I guess my strategy in Crazy 8 is definitely to... So the only strategy in Uno I can see is this, is just play whatever card you can on every turn and hope that you're the first one out. It doesn't really seem like there's much you can do to control whether you're the first one out or not. You could just play your cards randomly, I guess, and you'd have as good a chance as winning as any. The only choices you really have to make are when to drop the +2, because you could try and reverse things before you drop the +2, or when to drop this thing. I'm just going to drop it now because holding it till the end never seems to help me. There you go. Although now that I say that, it's the one time I'm sure when I should have held it to the end. But what I really like about Crazy 8s is the strategy. So my strategy in Crazy 8s is to build sets. You know, try and get 2, 3, even 4 of a kind. And sometimes on a turn when I can make a play, I would rather draw a card than drop a card. Even if I have a set of like 2, you know, and I could play, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I would rather draw a card here. Because I'm thinking of the long haul and the end game, and if you have a set of 3 or 4, again, as your last 3 or 4 cards, then you're almost guaranteed to be able to go out. Whereas you can play the riskier strategy of just dropping cards as fast as possible, get as low as you can, as quick as possible, but then you're playing the Uno strategy, which is, you know, maybe it'll work out for you, or maybe not. You know, like, I didn't say Uno. Okay, nobody called us. It's green. Oh my god, we actually won one. You know, there we go. But I mean, like, what was my strategy there? I was just dropping cards, and it's not like I didn't do anything there. The only thing I did is drop my wild a little earlier, which, again, you know, maybe it would have helped, but it's hard to say. Like, that totally could have been random. You know, I don't know. So, I know card games are supposed to be a little random. The most random of all is War. You guys ever play War? Deal out half the deck with each other, and you just take turns flipping the cards to see who's gonna win, and it is the most random of random games. There's no strategy at all. But I guess for me, like, I understand there's an element of chance in all card games, and I'm fine with that. Like, I like poker, I like Asshole, I like Crazy 8s, I like Bloody Knuckles. I gotta look up the rules on how to play that after this. There you go, you can go again, buddy. So I like all those things. But when a game is just totally random, I'm like, why don't I just sit in a room and roll the... Like, you don't even need other players. You could play Uno with no other players and just play it face up and just, you know, go from left to right, and whatever card is available that can first be played is the one that gets played, and it's like you'll probably have the same experience as playing against other humans, you know, like, without the trash talking, of course. Like, I would love to know what the AI in this game is, because I guarantee you it's like the simplest stuff ever. It's like the simplest AI you've ever seen. It's like, if you have a card that can be played, play it. And then, like, there's like one or two other contingencies for like when to play the wild and when to play the reversal and when to play the +2. You know, there's like a little bit of, you know, if player with the lowest hand count is to your left and it's going left and you have a pickup 2 that you can play that as a priority. So like tiny little prioritizations I bet exist. But other than that, it's like there's virtually no AI in this. I guarantee it. We could literally code up AI for Uno in like 10 lines of Python. Like that's all it would take. Yeah. See, we have the rainbow hand, which is the worst. It just means we've lost. It's like having a bunch of cards almost is not as bad in Uno as having like 3 or 4 cards that are all different colors, it seems. But anyway. Uno was invented by Merle Robbins in 1971. I mean, the music in the background definitely sounds like we're in a 1970s lounge. All right, this next one's for all the marbles. I assume in the 70s we play for marbles. And whoever wins, wins, and that's that. And, oh god, I dropped my controller. Hold on. All right, here we go. More Uno! Let's get into it! Let's take these guys down with the Uno champ. We've been dealt the master hand. All the effing wilds we want. These guys are gonna eat my... I don't know, my boot. But our turn got skipped. Ridiculous. I'm trying to amp myself up for Uno, but I just can't, guys. I just can't. Trying to think of other games I played growing up. I played dice with my grandma. Not like you know, dice in like the alley betting money or something like that, but it's basically Yahtzee. You know what I'm realizing is a lot of games that I played as a kid are like games like Yahtzee and Uno, but they're just played generically with dice or cards, you know, like Yahtzee is like an actual game you can buy, but literally if you just have some dice, you can basically play a version of it totally for free. And that's what we did. We just called it dice. So my grandma, my family liked to play that one a lot growing up. You know, later on, like I got into like board games like Axis and Allies, which I really love. The Game of Thrones board game is actually amazing. What other games? Above and Below is a really good indie game, if you guys ever heard of that. Sort of about choose your own adventures and stuff, going into dungeons, building a village. It's really neat, actually. So Above and Below. Boss Monster's a cool game. I like me some Boss Monster. You basically are sort of like a dungeon boss. It's a card game. You play sort of parallel competitive, like you're not directly interacting with other players, but you sort of interact. But basically, the premise is you have to build a dungeon, and you're a boss monster, and adventurers get lured into your dungeon. They try to kill your monsters and stuff, and you have to kill them. It's pretty cool, actually. We're just gonna lose right up. We're like straight up here. Oh, no. There we go. I swear we're gonna get down to this. Like, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just like, whatever, man. Who cares? Oh, yeah, pick up 4. Screw me, right? Yeah, whatever. Let's challenge this guy. You ain't got a blue. You son of a bitch. It was stupid to challenge him. What other games are good? Lots of good games out there. Ticket to Ride is good. Building railroads across the country. I mean, I guess a lot of these that I'm naming are board games, so we're kind of out of the realm of card games. But card games are almost like a subset of board games. Like they're very similar, I find. I guess board games tend to have more rules and to be a bit more complex. Card games, you're dealing with cards that have to be fairly simple. But yeah, most of the card games I like are just played with a generic deck of cards. One exception, though, that I sort of thought of as I've been playing this is a game called Chrononauts, which I think is really cool. It's I wouldn't say it's the best game I've ever played, but the premise is really cool. So you actually have a bunch of cards that set up a timeline, and it's like Earth's timeline. So it's like the Titanic sinks, like stock market crashes, you know, like Barack Obama gets elected president. Like it goes all the way up into like the late 2010s and stuff. And you are chrononauts. And so you are all people from parallel timelines trying to return to your own time. And so what you have to do is go into the past, and you have to alter past events that ripple forward and change the future. So, for instance, you can stop the Titanic from crashing, and then the stock market doesn't crash in the 30s, and then it, like, affects the 50s, you know? Like, events ripple forward. And it's kind of interesting. So it's like everybody is going through trying to, like, alter time and cause different timelines to occur so you can get back to your home one. And I think there's even one character who isn't from any timeline, and they're trying to cause World War III, so basically the annihilation of humanity in like the 60s or 70s, so that there's no future. It's a really neat premise, and that's kind of a cool card game. And this game is now over. So yeah. Anyway, that's a sampling of games and card games that I know about that you guys might want to check out if you guys like that kind of stuff. But anyway, Uno, it's in the 1,001 Games to Play Before You Die book for some reason. I don't know. I mean, Uno's a fine game, but you want Gaming Jay's recommendation, get a normal deck of cards, play not only Crazy Eights, but tons of other card games. I feel like buying an Uno deck is like artificially limiting yourself to one game, and I don't get it. I'm going on the record, I don't get Uno. Play Crazy Eights instead. Maybe you guys love Uno and you can explain it to me. You can explain why it's different from Crazy Eights, or why I'm totally wrong and it's more strategic or more interesting or more fun. That's totally fair. I'm just sharing with you guys my impression, my opinion. I am not wowed by Uno in any way. I wouldn't play this again. I would just get a normal deck of cards and play. But thinking about the video game perspective for a second, when this came out on Xbox Live, I'm certain it was pretty cool. And I do like the idea of board games, card games, ending up with online versions so that people can play. I think that is really cool. I think especially these days with, you know, being able to stay in touch with friends who live far away, having more access to games that can be played at a distance is really cool. So I would never begrudge Uno existing or suggest that, you know, oh man, this game was a big waste of time. I don't think like that. I think if you like Uno and you want to play with friends, get it on Xbox Live Arcade, get it on PS4, get it on your phones, do whatever. And you guys can play together, and it's cool that it exists. So these options should exist for people. As far as a game you must play before you die, there's absolutely no way I would recommend this. There's absolutely no way. There's so many better games out there. So many better games. It is cool to have a board game or card game in the book. Like maybe, like there are digital versions of Settlers of Catan. I think one of those, sure, could be in the book. But Uno, I just don't see it. But that's my own limited perspective here, guys. Tell me why I'm wrong in the comments down below. Feel free to. Because maybe I am dead wrong. And you know what? If I am, I would like to learn. Help me learn, guys. Help me learn. I did have a little bit of fun playing this and, like, you know, just sort of chatting with you guys. Despite the fact that the game didn't really draw me in. So I would consider today a win. And as always, it's nice to sort of chill with you guys for a bit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully my total disinterest in this game gave you a chuckle. If it did, don't forget to like the video and all that stuff. We will be back with a real video game for our next video in a couple days. So I will see you then, guys. Alrighty, until next time, folks. Peace. Like, these things look kind of interesting, right? Like, Rayman and Just Dance, the Phoenix Quest. Like, it's kind of interesting, but it's just Uno. You know? Like, it's not like this is another... Like, if Phoenix Quest was its own board game, maybe I'd be interested in it. But it's Uno. So, no thanks, though.